Now we will discuss the NPL flatness interferometer. So what are the parts of this interferometer that we will discuss by observing this diagram, and these are the diagrams for the fringe patterns of the slip gauge that we have uh, considered for, or we are going to understand how the flatness of the slip gauges or how the flatness of any object is found out with the help of this NPL flatness interferometer. Okay, so basically we will understand first what is this NPL stands for. Okay, so NPL stands for National Physics Laboratory. Okay, so this the short form of this National Physics Laboratory, which was firstly invented by this lab. That's why NPL stands in the name of NPL flatness interferometer. Okay, using this NPL flatness interferometer, we can find out the flatness of any object. Okay, for our consideration or for mechanical engineers, generally we find out the flatness of the slip gauges. The slip gauges are generally the parts in order to find out the depth or distance between two surfaces, and suppose uh, in order to find out the inclination we use these slip gauges. Okay, so let us start for the diagram. Okay, so here you can see it is an optical device, that is NPL interferometer or NPL flatness interferometer. So while going through the discussion, I will explain one by one the purpose of the parts that are placed over here. For example, this condensing lens is there, then this green filter is there, light source is there. Okay, and different parts that we will understand one by one. What is the purpose of each part, that we will understand. Okay, so the flatness of any object is judged by the uh, comparing it with an optically flat surface, which is the base plate over here. Okay, so optical flatness or flatness of any object or flatness of this workpiece can be judged with the help of this base plate. Okay, so this base plate is a part of this interferometer, and which is placed at the base of this device. Okay, on this device or on the base plate we are going to put the object and whose flatness that we want to find out. Okay, so first of all, light source. Let us start from this initial part, that is the light source. So light source is generally placed in order to get the incident rays of light. Okay, this light will have some wavelength, and with the help of this wavelength we can find out, or we can gather information, and we can collectively understand what is the uh, structure, or what is the uh, what can we say, what is the structure or what is the situation on the object itself. Okay, so the light source generally it is used for, or the light source used is a mercury vapor lamp. Then a green filter is used to get the monochromatic light waves from the mercury vapor lamp. Okay, so the green filter over here you can see, so this is the green filter that we are using in order to get the monochromatic light. Okay, already in the previous video I have told you what is the monochromatic light. So monochromatic light is such that, or we call monochromatic light to a specific light which is having same wavelength, okay, or which is having same frequency, or in other words you can say which is having same amplitude. Okay, the rays coming from the sun, it has many different light waves or light sources, it will have different light waves which are having different wavelengths, which are having different amplitudes. For example, there are infrared lights are there, okay, infrared rays are there, then ultraviolet rays are there, okay. Some rays are visible to the human eyes and some rays are invisible to the human eyes, okay. Out of that we are using the monochromatic light source in this device, okay. So is it clear what is the monochromatic light? So monochromatic light is such that it is having the same wavelength, or which is having the same frequency, or which is having same amplitude, okay. So that monochromatic light is generated by this green filter, and this condensing lens is used in order to gather the dispersed light, okay. So the light from this mercury source, or this mercury lamp which is dispersed, and using this lens we are going to gather it, or we are going to collect it on the green filter, okay. So this green filter will allow only one wavelength or only monochromatic light pass through this pinhole, okay. Now what is this pinhole? So pinhole is a small hole which is placed on this one part or one plate of this device, and which is generally used to get the focused source of light, okay. So what is the purpose of this pinhole? So pinhole is used to get the focused source of light. Then this pinhole is placed into the focal length of this collimating lens to get the parallel beam of the light, okay. Over here you can see, so this is the collimating lens over here, and this pinhole is placed in the focal plane of this collimating lens, okay. So because of this, what will happen? So the collimating lens will, it will produce the parallel beam of the light, and which falls on this base plate and the workpiece, okay. So this beam is imposed on the object to be tested, and which is placed on the base plate, okay. So this object that we are interested to find out the flatness, that is placed on the base plate, okay. Then the rays are reflected and can be viewed on the glass plate reflector, okay. So the light coming from this light source, it is getting into this green filter, it is getting filtered with the monochromatic light, then it is passing through this pinhole, and after that it is passing through this glass plate reflector, then it will fall on this collimating lens, and again it will fall on this optical flat, then it will fall on the workpiece, and at the same time it is falling on this base plate also, which is at the which is placed at the base of the interferometer, okay. So what will happen after striking these rays onto this base plate and workpiece? The rays will get back into the collimating lens, the reflected rays will go back into the collimating lens, and it will fall on this glass plate reflector, okay. Because of that, what will happen? And this is the human eye, okay. We are able to see, or we are allowed to see this part only, okay. Whatever the information that we are collecting, that will be available on this ग्लास प्लेट रिफ्लेक्टर, ठीक है. हम जब जब भी ये इंटरफेरोमीटर यूज़ करने वाले हैं या फिर प्रैक्टिकल में जब हम ये लाने वाले हैं, तब आई पीस में से जब हम देखेंगे तो हमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ ये प्लेट दिखेगा, ठीक है, इतना ही प्लेट हमें दिखने वाला है. एंड that plate is known as glass plate reflector. Okay, you can see this type of fringes or fringe patterns from this eyepiece. Okay, it is similar, the device is very much similar to the microscope, and from the eyepiece of that interferometer we are allowed to see this part or this part. Okay, so images like this, these are available on this glass plate reflector. Okay, and from this we can find out if the object is flat or if the object is little bit having errors or little bit curved or something. Okay, so depending upon the fringe patterns we can say if the object is flat or if the object is curved or if some error is there. Okay, so now basically understand this is the fringe pattern for parallel flatness error. Okay, sorry, this is the fringe pattern on a parallel. ठीक है, जब कभी भी ये अगर से समझो, अभी एक कॉमन एग्जांपल लेंगे हम. लेट अस कंसिडर वी वांट टू फाइंड आउट द flatness of the slip gauges, then we will put the slip gauges on this base plate. Instead of the workpiece we will now put the slip gauges. Okay, now suppose that we want to measure the flatness of this slip gauge, then the slip gauge is rung on this base plate. ठीक है, स्लिप गेज को क्या करना है, हमें फिक्स करना है ये बेस प्लेट पे रिंजिंग प्रोसेस से. ठीक है, इफ द गेज and the base plate are parallel, then optical flat being equally inclined on both the surfaces. ठीक है, जब कभी भी ये स्लिप गेज पैरेलल है और स्लिप गेज में कोई भी फ्लैटनेस एकदम एक्यूरेट है, कोई भी एरर नहीं है, तो क्या होगा, ये स्लिप गेज और ये बेस प्लेट दोनों भी क्या होंगे, इक्वली दे विल बी इक्वली पैरेलल विद दिस ऑप्टिकल फ्लैट. ओके, and we will get a common image, or we will get this kind of image on this glass plate reflector. Okay, and suppose if some error is there, let's consider the the fringe pattern. Let us understand what this fringe pattern tells us. The fringe pattern from the both gauge face and the base plate will consist of a parallel lines. Okay, so these are the parallel lines over here you can see, and the vertical rectangle is nothing but our slip gauge. Okay, and these parallel lines will have equal pitch. Okay, so these pitch is nothing but the distance between these two parallel lines, and that distance will remain equal. When it will remain equal? When the slip gauge is exactly flat, or which is not having any error. Okay, if the slip gauge is perfectly flat, then we will see this kind of image. Okay, and second image, if suppose now in the second image you can see all the lines inside this rectangle are parallel with the lines which are shown on this optical or on this base plate. Okay, so those lines are exactly parallel, but the pitch in between these two lines, the lines of this slip gauge and lines that are remaining on the base plate, those lines are different. Okay, this happens because the base plate is flat and the slip gauge is not flat, and that's why the base plate is remaining at certain angle to this optical flat, but the gauge is having different angle with the optical flat, and that's why we will get such a fringe pattern which is having parallel and straight lines, but the pitch is different. Okay, and that's why we will observe these two types of images on this glass plate reflector, which can be observed from the eyepiece of this interferometer. Okay, let us understand some next examples. So these are the next examples. So optical flat interferometer or interference fringes are there. So this left side will indicate the flat surface. Okay, we will get exactly parallel fringe patterns, and if suppose the curved surface is there, or the slip gauge is little bit curved because of some process, or because of the operation, or because of use of that slip gauge, then we will see this type of images or these type of fringe patterns on the eyesight or on the glass plate reflector. Okay, so these are the two photographs that first is showing the slip gauge is perfectly flat, and second is showing the slip gauge is having some curved surface. Okay, now these are the points of working of the flatness interferometer that already I have discussed in the working section or in the previous slides. So you can go through this in order to get the or in order to get some notes. You can refer these slides. Okay, so the first on the first slide, the A image or the figure A represents the fringes are parallel and equal in number on the both surfaces. Obviously the two surfaces are parallel, which means that the gauge surface is perfectly flat. And the second image, on the other hand, the figure 2 or figure B, the number of fringes are unequal, and since the base plate is ensured to be perfectly flat, the workpiece has to be or वर्कपीस हैज़ ए फ्लैटनेस एरर. कभी भी याद रखो, जो कुछ भी अपना बेस प्लेट जो है वो परफेक्टली फ्लैट रहेगा. ठीक है, और उसको हम कंपेयर कर रहे हैं, जो बेस प्लेट है वो तो परफेक्ट फ्लैट है, उसको कंपेयर कर रहे हैं हम हमारे वर्क पीस के साथ. ओके, अगर से कोई फ्रिंज पैटर्न में अगर से आपको कुछ डिस्टर्बेंसेस दिख रहे हैं, तो दोज डिफरेंसेस आर बिकॉज ऑफ द वर्क पीस एंड नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ द बेस प्लेट और ऑप्टिकल फ्लैट. ओके, so this much is for the NPL flatness interferometer. Okay, generally this interferometer is used to find out the flatness of the slip gauges or flatness of gauge surfaces, you can say, or flatness of any object that we have manufactured. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section below.